Bonjour, hi. Welcome back to another coffee talk. For those of you who are not familiar with coffee talks, it's a series and a podcast I have where every Friday I sit down with a cup of coffee. I sip on it while I talk about different topics that have been on my mind for the past week, and this week is no exception. I feel like for the previous two coffee talks, I haven't been presenting myself adequately, and I've been really all over the place, and I do apologize. But obviously, and as always, this is not the topic of today's coffee talk. Well, maybe it is, but actually today we are talking about confidence and self-doubt and self-sabotage. As per usual, or at least for a lot of coffee talks, it all started with a thought I had, and it transformed itself into a conversation, and then I was like, you know what? I want to talk about this for this week's episode. Well, you know what? No. It all started because I saw something on social media. I saw someone talking about like some sort of attraction, like the law of attraction, and how when you're in a good place you attract good things. And I asked myself, because okay, let's rewind even further than that. I'm a big believer in manifestation, and I feel like recently I've had signs that everything that I've been manifesting in the past is unfolding itself, and I'm so thankful. And obviously I'm not delusional. I worked towards those goals and I worked to get there. But the life that I had envisioned for myself is happening in a way, or partially happening, and I'm so grateful for that. Except for one sphere, and you guessed it, relationships. I think it comes as no surprise. If you've been here long enough, you know that it is a recurring theme when it comes to coffee talks, when it comes to my reflections. And I can't help it because I am a hopeless romantic. But with that being said, even though I am a hopeless romantic, I feel like it is the sphere in my life that I've always struggled with. And it doesn't make sense to me because every other sphere of my life, personally, professionally, health-wise, I feel like I haven't struggled that much. And it's all because I do believe in myself and I put like intentions out there and I manifest everything that I want. But when it comes to relationships, somehow it doesn't work out. And the conclusion that I made recently, actually, was that it all comes down to confidence, and it all comes down to all these biases that I have, and obviously the past experiences that I've had, which reflect on the way that I approach things, and it reflects on the way that I just present myself, if that makes sense. Let me clarify that. So, for instance, when I'm discussing with a new client about like contracts and everything, I have this sense of self and I have this confidence that I cannot really transpose into my relationships, and I don't know why that is. Well, I have an idea, but like I don't know, I feel so confident in so many spheres of my life, but when it comes to relationships, I lose all this confidence. And I begin this pattern of self-doubt, self-sabotage, because I do not have the confidence that it is going to work out, because I've been disappointed in the past, and I'm just so used to this sphere of my life not working out and not going the way that I want it to go, that I have all these biases, and that I almost like I sabotage myself because I do not trust myself and I don't have the confidence when it comes to like flirting and dating and seeing someone, and just yeah. So if I come back to what I said about what I saw on social media about like the law of attraction and how it's all about the energy and how you present yourself. Well, you know how when you just start seeing someone, you start dating someone and it gets serious, and then all of a sudden you have all these people messaging you, talking to you, and having interest in you. Yeah. This is exactly the kind of energy that I'm trying to emulate. And this is exactly the kind of energy that I have in other spheres of my life. But when it comes to a relationship, I don't. But I want to, you know? And obviously, it is easier said than done. As for pretty much everything I talk about on here. But the thing is, I know I have this quote unquote power inside of me because I am able to apply this and to make it work on other parts of my life, on other aspects of my life. Everything is kind of working accordingly, and it's kind of going the way that I plan on things to go, except for last year. And it had me thinking, why is that? And hear me out. I know this is going to sound like pure self-sabotage and self-doubt, and it's probably what it is. But I feel like because everything has worked out my way, except for relationships, for pretty much my entire life, or for, as long as I can remember, and for as long as I've had a sense of identity, that if the relationship part works out, then it's going to ruin all the luck and all the energy and the confidence that I've had for the other spheres of my life. So, subconsciously, I make my relationships not work out because I'm afraid of losing what's already working out in my life. And because I've been used to my relationships not working, I feel like it's going to hurt less because I've been used to it. I've been used to being disappointed, and it's going to hurt less if this one new relationship doesn't work out rather than this one client or one contract, or if I'm struggling financially, or if I'm struggling emotionally, or if I'm struggling, health wise. It's going to be more unsettling and destabilizing. Is that even a word in English? Anyway, it's going to hurt me, and it's going to affect me more than when it comes to relationships. Does that make sense to you? Because it does to me, but I wonder, have I put it in an understandable way? And as I said, when it comes to my life in general, I do feel like I'm a, generally speaking, confident person. Obviously, there are exceptions, and there are days or weeks where I don't feel as confident, but generally speaking, I am a confident person, and I've actually learned to be confident, because if we take a look at me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was not the case. Well, 15 years, obviously, because I was still a child. But if we take a look at when I was a teenager or early adult, like a young adult, the confidence was not quite there yet, but I was working towards that. And it is something that I take pride in because, well, I'm confident, I'm proud of myself, and I want to keep that sense of self. But I'm afraid that I might lose it, that I might ruin my luck, and that I might jinx myself if I ever end up being in a healthy, loving relationship. Because I have been in a relationship before, once, thank God, that is out of the way, but there's still always this part of me that was like, yeah, but it might have been a one-time thing. And at that time, everything else in my life was working accordingly. But still, I was beginning in life. I didn't have as many things to lose then that I have now. And I'm afraid that if I give my all and my energy and my focus and my love and all my being to a relationship that I want to work, I won't have anything else to pour into my work and to pour into my personal life and to pour into my business and to pour into everything else that's going well in my life, if that makes sense. And I know it sounds crazy. I know it's probably not the case, but it is very subconscious. Well, now that I'm talking about it, it is definitely more conscious than it used to be. But, I don't think of it that way when it's happening. It's just that I know it is deep down inside of me that I have this belief that I might ruin it. And it is probably not likely to happen. And I do, because that's the thing. There's also this duality inside me because I am very eager to find someone and to develop a relationship with someone, a loving, understanding, respectful relationship. But at what cost? And that's the thing. I feel like I can't have both. I can't have a loving relationship that, responds to all the criteria that I have and that fulfills me, and have a career that fulfills me as well. I feel like I cannot be 100% fulfilled because I've never been. So yeah, we're getting deep today. And this whole thing comes from self-doubt. It is rooted down inside me. Like I've always, again, it might sound contradictory to what I've just said. I am a confident person, but I've always had some sort of self-doubt, especially when it comes to relationships. But just like in general, sometimes I do overthink things, and it's very weird because I have these two part of my personality, and depending on how I feel and depending on who I'm with and depending on like so many factors obviously, but like the context, the circumstances, one overrules the other. So there's this part of me that, yes, is very confident, bold, outgoing, very social, and there's this other part of me that might be considered my inner child or my inner teenager, who's really self-conscious, who's not confident at all, who overthinks everything, who doubts herself, who thinks she's being too loud, too nosy, not pretty enough, not funny enough, who's, and depending on who I'm with and depending on what's happening, one overrules the other, as I said. And somehow, when it comes to dating, when it comes to relationship, and when it comes to actually caring about someone, it's the inner child, it's the shy one, it's the overthinking one that overrules the confident one. And I would want confident me to, take the lead when it comes to relationships, but she cannot, because she's never been. But no, that's not true. She's been there, she's been taking the lead when I'm just not caring about the relationship, because I'm so detached from that relationship, from that situation, that naturally confident me is going to take over, because that's what she does. I realize now I'm sounding again very lunatic. I don't have dissociative personality, whatever it's called. I am me. It's just, different aspects of my personality and just my energy in general. I refer to her as she, but it's me, first person singular, me, I. But you get the idea, right? And I'm really trying to make the confidence side of me stand out when it comes to relationships, when it comes to dating, and when it comes to just meeting new people in general. But when there's a romantic factor coming in, somehow confident me is just what's happening, and I lose control. And that might also be it, is that I feel so out of control when it comes to relationships, because I never know what to expect, that it's hard for me to be confident and to be assertive and to, stand my ground, because I want to please. It comes from wanting to please and wanting to be liked and having this validation, this confirmation from an outside source. And I've talked about this in a previous coffee talk, and probably many previous coffee talks, but yeah, I'm getting lost here. Let's bring ourselves back. Circling back to what I said about control and being afraid of losing control, but it happening even though I don't want it to, is also the reason why I feel like I self-sabotage, because that way I get to control the failure. And I would rather be in control and fail than fail and not be in control. Yeah, it's bad. But hey, at least I'm recognizing it and I'm trying to work towards that and to let myself go and to, not necessarily be in control and let things happen whichever way they are meant to happen. So yeah, self-sabotage is real. It's hard. It comes from self-doubt. It comes from so many things. And I feel like the more I grow and the more wiser I get, the more I recognize that, but the harder it is to change this type of behavior and to change this path in my brain, because it's been encrusted there for a little while. And I feel like with every experience I get, it just reinforces this whole idea. So I'm kind of stuck in a cycle here. But I'm really trying to get unstuck and to get out of this cycle and to, like, I don't know, reset everything. But it's easier said than done, and I probably would need therapy for this, which coffee talks are a little bit of that. Well, no. Obviously, it is nothing like therapy, but it feels good talking about it, so that's a little something right there. Anyway, now I'm getting lost in the sauce for real, so this is my cue to wrap it up here. Thank you for watching or listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. I truly, 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 truly mean it. Hopefully, I have made a little difference in your day today. If you would like to make a difference in mine, you know what to do. I'm going to wish you une bonne journée.